What do you do with the Bitcoin besides it just gather value?
Real estate developers in New York City, they're not buying the real estate because they want to live in it.
But like most of the people who are buying assets at some point want to sell the assets at a profit.
People that use fiat currency as a store of value, we call them poor. We call them poor. People that use fiat currency, we call them poor. We call them poor. We call them poor. We call them poor. There's a name for them. We call them poor. We call them poor. Okay? Right, like, the point is, if you have the superior asset, it's going up forever, Laura. Forever.
Right, but we can all look Bitcoin sort of as...
Forever, Laura. People that use fiat currency as a store of value, we call them poor. We call them poor. People that use fiat currency, we call them poor. We call them poor. We call them poor. We call them poor. There's a name for them. We call them poor. 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 We call them poor.
With time, a seed becomes a tree, sheltering us. With time, a skill becomes a talent, empowering us. With time, a technology becomes a tool, enhancing us. By nature, time gives value to almost everything, yet the very thing our society gives value to, our money, loses value over time. This paradox warps our reality by defying the laws of nature, and it stems from the belief that $1 today is worth more than $1 tomorrow. Meaning money must always lose value. We built our reality off of this model. Time value of money, we call it, but in reality, this is just dogma. Since we can keep making more of it, we end up destroying our own purchasing power. So we put it in stocks, put it in bonds, put it in land, put it in funds, put it in crypto, put it in gold. But we are not oracles, so what do we know? We know that it's hard to get by. We know some people may never retire. Is time value of money a license to discount the monetary value of our time? If time is money, how are we moving in different directions? We're working longer for less, we end up just giving away our freedom. Give up liberty for policies, give up our agency to the authorities. Because when our foundation is built on complexity, we simplify humans by giving up our humanity. Reality check, we've strayed too far from the truth. The world economy's a wreck when 1 + 1 no longer equals to 2. And if life's created from the truth, along the way something got screwed, and we let our own dogma subjectify value. We divorce action from consequence. We defy the law of physics when we make scarcity infinite. We disregard the language of mathematics. So our systems are built in a fallacy. Our society's based on a fantasy. In the absence of truth, we're living in the shadows of our own reality. And that's the root problem. Man-made rules can be broken. As our trust crumbles, so does the progress of our civilization. But one thing remains constant: no one can cheat nature. So why not use it to architect a stronger base layer? The most beautiful buildings engineered based on these consequences. Natural law drives rigor needed to build something enduring, uncompromising on principles that accounts for the flaws. Because when our lives are at stake, the gravity of truth cannot be ignored. So So our monetary systems were designed like structures. It would embody energy and matter so the money itself matters. An unbreakable limit enforced by costliness of creation ensures the structure holds value for many generations. A rule-based system governed by maths builds a transparent ecosystem that can self-error correct. With no one in charge, no words are taken as fact. Only work from computation can actualize truth of timestamps, and like water flowing off a cliff. Down the path of gravity, computational energy makes time flow one way only. It is this irreversibility which gives value to our money by upholding consensus and scarcity to create one shared reality. Now the map is the territory. Now we're working with high fidelity. Now money is truthfully time and energy bound by finality. Now we have the ability to manifest each of our dreams and build a world that is much more reflective of all of our needs. And that's the purpose of money, merely a tool to shape our reality, merely a function to harness and express individuality. It's just a way to live freely, just the means for possibility. Because when we build on integrity, we enhance the beauty of humanity. The most beautiful societies are built from diversity of our thoughts that come to life when we're empowered individually. Because when our money tomorrow is worth more than today, we shift from predicting to creating the future ourselves. And when our money grows in value, we grow thoughtful in how we use it. Natural law drives rigor needed to fund something enduring, something truly worth it, something that pushes the sky's limit, something only possible when our real value and consequence exist in boundless virtual dimensions. Imagine potential creations, fueled by monetary life force, lasting for many generations. We will venture into new territories and unleash these possibilities once we learn to embrace the truth of our reality.
All right, yo. Let's get started here. Got a lot to cover. First and foremost, down low six figures. Probably like, 110, maybe 120 across all my portfolios. Still up over 300,000 for the week. And last week, I think I was up 250,000. So I'm going to call it a win. Things to focus on today in regard to the chart. Obviously, CleanSpark. MicroStrategy had a short report, or I should say a report, talking about how they were overvalued by like, I don't know what number they used. It was like 160% or something like that. Really, it's only the premium is probably closer to like 95%. And now it's probably under 90 or even in the 80s. They closed down 11.18% on the day. I actually did some dip buying, a decent amount today on that, especially around the down 13, 14% on the day. All of these are going to come back around. Liquidity is only increasing in the future. The Bitcoin sector and even just crypto in general are going to be seen as hedges against the currencies and just constant dilution we're seeing from governments all around the world. So I have absolutely no worries about any drops occurring. Also, there was rotation. You can see even in here, Mara was up 2.31%. I did a video with Hut in their earnings call. I don't know. You guys could watch that if you want to. I didn't find it too entertaining. Not a lot of details given. A lot of stuff about the future, and them publishing things for all different kinds of things. But they have business in Bitcoin mining. They've got hosted solutions. They've got AI. They're doing some option trading to hedge. They've got their energy business now, managed services. They just got all these different segments. Sue Innes, though, I will say this. She reached out. She's like head of investor relations now. She reached out again and said that they will be breaking things down by segment in the future. So I might get more interested in that company. But I just told her straight up. She just asked if I wanted to do a video. I said no, not until you guys start showing some of this and we get at least one quarter in after this merger, because just the fuzziness of that J Capital short report. I don't know. Again, the CEO left in February. There's this J Capital research report, and then you've got this massive merger. And I just want to see things settle, and I want to see what the Q1 looks like. So she said, fair enough. And if things look interesting and they do actually publish like P&L by segment, then I'll be interested, and I'll probably do an interview with her. But for now, no. And I will not be buying. And I think it closed up like, 15% 20% today. Congratulations to the people who have it. All right, let me see what else is notable in here. So, I'm happy to report that Matterport actually had a pretty good day, closed up 16% on the day, and PayPal had another decent day. These are probably some of the bright spots. Tesla got hit. We'll talk about that in a little bit. They could drop. Q1 could be a negative narrative. I'm buying the whole way down. I don't care. And if it doesn't drop, then we're going to break out. I think a lot of my thesis right now is that a lot of people seem to think that Q1 is going to be horrible and already know that. And an analyst revised down to like $300 for their price target for this company going forward. So, I mean, but again, people know it's going to be pretty bad. The question is how bad, and we'll know in a week. So we should get a lot of clarity very soon in regard to Tesla delivery numbers for Q1. So that'll resolve itself one way or the other. And if it goes down, I'm buying a whole bunch of those June 2026 calls that I got down here that are nice and juicy. I can't believe they were actually down quite a bit more before, but and I've got another account that's got them too. And I've started buying stock recently. And I don't know if I explained this too well to people, but when I buy options that are way out there, if I don't want to buy anymore, like Tesla already bounced, like these options bounced like 15-20% from their low, from where they were like a week or two ago. So I don't want to buy more options if it dips. So what I do is I buy the stock, and then if it drops, since the options are a multiplier to the returns, I could sell some of that stock in tax advantaged accounts like IRAs, and then move that into the options if they really see a strong drop. So that's kind of how I do that. I don't want to just DCA into options that dropped a little bit today when they're up like 20-30% in a week. I'm just not going to do that, right? I want to get them on like new lows or down near the bottom, or what I perceive to be the bottom. So that's kind of how I do that. Let's see here. Anything else notable? Not too much. Let's move on. We killed that horse. Also, PayPal did okay today. Here's what I wanted to show this because it's fascinating and kind of beautiful. So there's something called the golden cross. It's basically when the 50 average, which I list in purple on all my charts, this little line here, when it crosses above the orangish brown one here, that's the 200 moving average, they call that a golden cross, and it's usually a bullish sign that we're going to see that we're in a bull market and we're going to see further price side or upside price action. And as you can see here, that did turn out really good in the past. Now, when the 50 in purple drops underneath the 200 in this orangish brown color, you can see that also marks a bear market and a major drop in PayPal. And it doesn't just work. This is a dramatic version of it, but it works this way across indices. It works this way across all kinds of stocks, commodities. It's just universally paid attention to. Algos use it, quants use it, and humans use it, like myself. And so when you see these things, you're like, oh, this is dropping underneath. If this was like Bitcoin, for instance, I'd be getting the hell out right around this level. If it couldn't maintain, you'd just be out. You'd call it. And then you would look to re-enter when it was really oversold. But now, the important thing of what I'm trying to get to here is we're seeing today a golden cross again on PayPal for the first time in, 4 years? 4 years. So this is another kind of a big deal. And we also have our highest weekly close in like 7 or 8 months. So that's also kind of a big deal. So I'm really excited about PayPal. It looks great. Again, right here, if you look at our weekly close right here, haven't been that high since back over here in July of 2023. So also very cool. And you got to remember, we're still down 78% from the high. And I think next week we're going to hit that second higher high. We've already got the higher low, and that'll be the first time that's happened in a very long time, going back over here. So again, like, we're looking at some record-breaking stuff, and it's a sign of a shift in sentiment. And this stock, as more and more people realize what's happening, they're going to get more and more excited about it. All right, so Matterport. Again, great day for Matterport, up about 16% on the day. It looks like I don't know if Meet Kevin is still Kevin Pathrath, the real Meet Kevin, if he is still shorting this, but I guess today he was shorting it after it popped. I don't know how well he's doing on that short. He might have gotten a couple pennies off of it, But I think if he's smart, he won't hold that for long, and hopefully he's just day trading. The thing I wanted to note here, we had our best day on this stock, or I should say the best weekly close, since the week is officially closing right now, since we don't have markets open tomorrow outside of economic data. We've had the best weekly close since going back over here on Matterport to May of 2021. So again, about 3 years. That's probably a pretty good signal when with a stock that is down 94% and it has its best weekly close in, 4 years. Just saying. All right. Also, I was speaking to rotation. I wanted to show that real quick. It's kind of hard to see on here, but again, and if I look up, you can see, HUD 8 closed up about 12%. I think it was up over 21 at one point. So it retraced a decent amount of that. But you could see how that was doing well today. Ethy was doing well today. Bitfarms actually ended up okay. Mara. This is rotation. And why is it rotating? It's rotating because if you look at here over the last month at performance, you got 81% from MSTR. You got 43% from Cypher. You got 24% from Bitcoin. And then you have others that are just way down in the doldrums here, including like Mara down 31% over that month's time frame. So when we're looking at comparison here, so it's just rotation, and this is going to happen. You're going to have it. You can try and chase the latest miner that's you think is going to run next, but man, if you're not in a tax advantaged account, that is super stupid. You don't want to be trading this short term if you're in the States here and you've got to worry about short term capital gains. Just get the fastest, most powerful horse and hold on to it. A year from now, some of these slower, shittier ones might be at a time where they're worth investing in, or who knows, maybe months from now, it's something where it's worth investing. And maybe you're doing that now and you're arbitraging back and forth. I really don't care. Here's what I don't want to hear from people, because I find it so fucking annoying personally from this being my third cycle, is I don't want to hear people being like, oh, my MSTR is the best in the world and nothing's better than it. Or my Mara, yeah, it's coming back. It's way better than CleanSpark. Just you watch. All because the price is going up. It's just price action, guys. It doesn't mean what you own is better. And I hope everybody in this makes a bunch of money. But let's not get caught up in the game of like shit talking other people's investments. I find it so annoying. Focus on your house. Make sure your house is in order and you understand what you're going to do. Be forward looking, understand what you own, but don't shit on other people because of their thing. I don't dig that. I probably do it every once in a while. I'm probably a hypocrite, but I try hard not to. Let's just try and make money and be smart about what we're invested in. And so today, again, I bought more MicroStrategy. Yeah, here's another view. I think this is the 1 month, but we kind of already looked at that. So I bought a lot of MicroStrategy. I bought some Tesla. I even bought some Palantir just because I want to start getting it. I know Palantir, people probably don't love me in that community for a number of reasons, but I told them, and you know what? I shouldn't even look at it through here. I should show you the post maybe. 1 second here. I'm just going to try and find this real fast. I thought I had it pulled up. I don't. But with Palantir, oh, maybe I don't have it there either. What the heck? Where is my Palantir post? Let me go down 1 sec. There we go. Okay. So I just said in this post that I think we have head and shoulders. You got the left shoulder, you got the head, you got the right shoulder. You've got this previous resistance line that's been trying to turn into support. I think we're going to break down even further past the 20s. I think we can break down to 20 to 19 even, and find support after we close a bunch of this gap over here. The stars are just aligning. And I believe in this enough when I make this statement that it's the same one that I made when I made $600,000 off of Palantir, because I pointed out that there was an inverse head and shoulders, and I was going balls deep here with about $200,000 in calls that went 400% in a very short period of time. So I do believe with some conviction that this is happening. And again, I'm acquiring the whole way down, just really tiny increments. Then this next fib, I'll pick up a little bit more. Then when we hit like the 100 in this volume cliff in the 20 range, I'll pick up a larger amount. And then if we get down to 19, I'll pick up a larger amount. And if we get down to the 200 moving average, I'll throw in a bunch. this is how I accumulate. I do it on the way down, and I get more progressive the further we get to my target. So I know a lot of people probably don't like hearing that, though, that it's going down. I've been saying it for a little bit, but I know it pisses people off, and I'm sorry that it pisses you off. But I'm going to say it if I think that's what's happening. And sometimes I'll be wrong, but other times I'm right, like what appears to be happening right now. Anyway, yeah, I got DLO2. Yeah, I think I told you this. Okay. So I did do some buying. I did want to point out the sky isn't falling today. I think we're just in a holding pattern until PCE tomorrow. It's the big Fed metric that they like to look at, especially core. So if you look at altcoins, you can kind of see here that they actually did okay. They didn't have a bad day. And for the week, they're actually recovering. So again, these are like a higher beta item than just Bitcoin and even Bitcoin miners for some of these. So they might move kind of quicker. And right now, they still look pretty good. And I think we're just awaiting again for the Fed for this economic data, which we'll go over in a second here. Now, the S&P up 0.11%. Not bad. Not a bad day. We're still above the fib. I think we're still heading to the .618. I say that because if you look down here at the RSI, we could go a lot higher before like we hit a level like we were at in January 2018, where we were like heading towards the 90s. An 89 to a 90 on the weekly RSI for S&P is like, you better have some cash. That's that level, okay? But so far, it doesn't look like we don't have like a higher high over here on the weekly that's hanging over us, and we might have some of that on the daily, but so far it looks good. If the PCE comes in good tomorrow, I think we'll be all right. Now, the NASDAQ looks a little bit different than that. It was down 0.14%, and if you look here, you can see we actually closed underneath the fib. So, and then we have some bearish resistance down here, or divergence. And so this could go lower on the NASDAQ. It looks like it could. This could be a rejection here where we're looking to drop. And again, it's all heavily dependent upon what happens tomorrow. Now, that said, the Russell still looks great, right? So this is kind of what I'm talking about, where we're seeing some areas of the market where we're seeing weakness, but we're seeing other areas where it's like, okay, I guess people believe Tom Lee because the Russell's up 0.48% again today, and it's above the fib that it established a baseline on, and it still seems like it wants to run. So it's the stronger of all these indices yet again, even in a down day, which I kind of like to see. And again, you can kind of see here some big caps didn't go anywhere or they went down. Tesla got beat up, like we said. GE, just a bunch. It was kind of a nothing day. Not a lot of, again, got some red in the bigger ones, but green in the smaller. Now, the dollar is strong. I'm going to do a video over the weekend here, probably talking more about this. There's a bunch of people that I'm going to be referencing in regard to why the dollar is strong. But also, I believe it could be seeing weakness here real soon. So look for a macro video. I might do it tomorrow since the markets are closed, where I go over that and talk about why I believe the dollar will start to break down again, where we are right now. And I don't know, maybe we could try and go a little bit higher, maybe into the 105 range up here before rejecting. But I do believe that's what's happening. We'll find out real soon, though. And again, I think it's going to be PCE driven. Now, the speculation for oil is at peak. We're up here at the 100 moving average again on the weekly, and this is the breakdown zone. So what I wouldn't want to see happen next week is breaking above this red line and then starting to find support above it. I would want to see us maybe not even test it, get rejected at the 100 and start making our way back down. If we start doing this down here, oil's going lower, and my thesis is correct. And I do think my thesis is correct because I'm still looking at looking at Europe, Germany, China, parts of Asia, and they're all showing weakness still. So it's hard to have inflation. You could have shocks like cocoa. It's through the roof. It looks like a meme stock. But you can have shocks to the system, but generally I think inflation is still coming down. I did want to point out we're still seeing bond volatility weakness. So the bond market is not blowing up right now. And again, you can see what happens when things are really bad. That's usually when you want to exit out of bonds or your store of value and start buying stocks. You can see here it marked the bottom. This really huge wick up here marked the bottom in 2008 in the financial crisis. And then over here in March of 2020, this was pretty much peak fear in the pandemic. And that, again, marked the bottom in stocks. And then over here, this was the banking crisis, and that marked the bottom in stocks. And then we started the trend up last year. And in some cases, we were trending up before that happened. So, again, still looks good. This is weakening. We want to see it weaken. And I doubt we're going to get another huge surge up here soon. Fear and greed, I don't think it changed much. Let's see here. I think it's still 71. Did I rant already? I think I missed it. All right, 71. Yeah, so boring. Again, higher lows, though, for the most part. Looks like it still wants to break higher, in my opinion. All right, so we're going to get to some economic data, but I wanted to point this out. So Jerome Blackland, he's a good guy to follow. He loves oil, but we don't always see eye to eye, but on this we do. He said, this shows U.S. Treasury debt distribution, and he says higher for longer, the U.S. Treasury has to refinance 38% of all of its outstanding debt within 3 years, with net interest payments already heading up to 5% of GDP. Good luck with that. And here's what he's saying. He's saying the Fed cannot handle higher interest rates for longer, and they can't, because again, they have over a third of their debt that they need to refinance, hopefully at lower rates, so that it's a lower amount of interest, so that it isn't such a large percentage of GDP. Because you don't want, when you're the government, the last thing you want to do is have interest payments being larger than than what you're putting out there for your defense budget for the year. So you don't want that, right? You don't want your interest payments in your household. You don't want your interest payments to be a lot higher than your mortgage, right? Think of it that way. It's the same thing. And so the Fed has other incentives that I talked to in here too. They want lower rates because the real estate markets need it. Commercial real estate, residential, heck, even industrial. I didn't put it in here, but they need it too, because there's companies that have that could roll over debt into higher rates, and it could be destructive to them. And they might be okay companies. They just didn't count on the most aggressive rate hikes in history. They didn't count on bond routes that went back to the 17 and 1800s for how bad they were. They didn't think, oh, this is going to be a couple 100-year event within the bond market. So they thought they were going to be okay, and they accrued debt. And now if they're not doing great, or if they just have to refinance this debt at much higher interest rates, it could put them in a bad position in a company that isn't necessarily a bad company. So the Fed doesn't want to do that. They don't want to hurt corporations that have to deal with this stuff as well. They want liquidity in the markets. Jerome, I don't know why people think this. He does not want to destroy markets. He wants a strong legacy. He wants to leave the office being able to say, I managed things through a pandemic and through multiple bubbles, and it didn't collapse under my watch. Now, whether it collapses under somebody else's, I don't know if he cares, but under his watch, you best be guaranteed that he doesn't want that to happen. And the president doesn't want that to happen. And you got to realize, like, when we're talking about the Fed Board of Governors, you got to realize, like, 80% of these people contribute to the Democratic Party. I just want to be clear on that. Like, that's just a known fact in the Fed. So you could say, and he says this all the time, that there's no bias towards the standing president or powers that be, but there definitely is. There definitely is. So, because, I mean, by the nature of it, right? And so these people that are like 80% towards this party, they don't want to have it fall apart in an election year. And again, this isn't a diss on like Democrats, Republicans. I hate both parties, if it makes you feel better. I hate both of you. So I think it's a waste of energy to go back and forth between two fucking parties and say that everything has to be black or white, and if it's not white, it's black, and if it's not black, it's white. It's like, that's fucking stupid. Everything in life is gray, and to just say that you're the good guys and, or we're the good guys and you're the bad guys is fucking stupid. And it's a really pathetic way to look at politics and how things should progress in the future if you look through that kind of lens, and all you do is just see what your party tells you should believe and believe it. That's for fools. So I'm not, well, there's a rant. I got one in for sure today because it's stupid to me. But anyway, I digress. So my whole point is it's all about self-preservation, whether it's the Fed, whether it's the president, whether it's corporations, whether it's the banking system, whether it's just our country as a whole. We're going to want to protect ourselves and stick around for a while. And like Jerome Powell has already said, they've been talking to all the banks that have exposure to commercial real estate and anything that might have systemic issues. Okay, so they're already looking at this stuff, and they're going to resolve it very quickly, like they did with Silicon Valley Bank and these other banks that collapsed last year. So if you're expecting everything to fall apart in the future, I think you're going to be sad. You could get dips in this market, but the money printer will go burr. It has to. If there's anything I can get you people to understand, it has to print. We have no way around it. If we decide to get super conservative and cut back on budgets and do all this other stuff, it would be at the detriment of the world right now. Don't get me wrong. We can try and do that if we can maintain growth and if we can accelerate through like AI and robotics and genetics and all this other stuff. If we can start conservatively after the economy is taking off and after we've started to loosen, if we can make it to where we start to cut back on expenses that are just a waste, because I don't believe in big government. Okay, I'm like a liberal conservative, and I believe that we should have less government oversight over us and what we do and how they're involved in our life. I think that should be something all parties should be able to agree on. We shouldn't try and control other people all the time unless they're breaking laws where they're killing people or illegally crossing into our country or any of these other things. If you're breaking laws, then we should make sure that those are followed. But if you're not, we should leave people the fuck alone. And I don't like big government. I don't think it's beneficial to an economy. I believe in capitalism, and I believe that a freer society that has capitalism at a base where people can go, I love Tesla. I want to invest in them because I think they can make the world a bigger place, or a better place than it is today. And I can put my money towards that. And if they do well, I can succeed too. That is the kind of world you want to live in, where people, anybody can rise up based on the success of a business or based on the success of an alternative form of store of value like Bitcoin. That's the world I want to live in. It's not one where the governments have strong control. And wow, I am off on a rant. Fuck. Sorry. I'm in a mood today. All right. So anyway, let's look here. So good morning. So GDP actually got revised higher and looks pretty good. And let me go into some other metrics here real quick too. So corporate profits, they're actually at a new high. So again, sky not falling in regard to corporate profits. Also, another quick rant. I don't have this in front of me right now, but I just want you to understand that households in the United States have like $47 trillion in more additional wealth versus what they had before the pandemic. $47 trillion. And so I don't know what to tell you. They're going to want to apply it somewhere, right? All right. So initial jobless claims, nothing to see here. It's still, it looks like it's trending lower. It could be manipulated by the government. I don't know. They all do it. GDP price index. The way they do jobs data and some of these metrics is just fucking ridiculous. Anyway, GDP deflator. It doesn't look bad. Oh, and here, I probably went out too far. I should stick with this. It wasn't a crazy increase. It was lower than expected. Or I should say in line. Consensus was 1.6. Forecast was 1.7. We got 1.7. So in regard to prices, things weren't really going up a lot, but the GDP growth rate was, 3.4 for this one, and it was revised for the previous month. So that's good stuff too. Chicago PMI went down. It's the Purchasing Managers Index. It looks weak. I mean, if you just look at the year here, it's pretty steep decline. 5-year, again, it's kind of getting to lower levels. Not great for the business barometer in Chicago. Let's just put that out there. All right, Michigan consumer sentiment. I actually hate consumer sentiment. I think this is stupid. They poll like at least 500 people. So what does this really tell us? And do I care what the sentiment of people are? I usually am a contrarian and go the opposite of consensus. So I don't know. I don't know that this actually provides a lot of signal personally. I mean, I guess it kind of does. I mean, if you look at 2008, you can see where the pain and suffering was way down at the bottom here. We did get a very low sentiment number down here, and we're going higher. So maybe it's a representation of some truth. I don't know. Pending home sales, they dropped. I mean, again, housing market's going to suck, right? It's still low, and it needs to get better, and that's gonna get better with rates going down. All right, I'm gonna pull up some other stuff here real quick. Does everything still sound good? I've got my VPN up, and it's configured in a different way, and I want to make sure it's not slowing down the feed. So let me know if that's the case. All right, here we go. Bitcoin. Bitcoin still looks good to me. Now, this isn't the weekly still, so we got to see what we do here. But I got to say, I think we still have a decent amount of volume here under this time frame. Could we drop down for some reason? Turn this into like, a W-type top or a double top? I mean, it's not quite there yet. Maybe it gets up to here. Could it turn into a double top and drop? It could. It could. And that would ruin my thesis that we're getting to 92,000. But I don't care either way. It's just a matter of time. It's just a matter of time before we go a lot higher. And honestly, I don't think we're going lower anytime soon. All right, let me see. What else haven't I pulled up? I pulled up PayPal. I did Palantir. Hood. I'll pull up Hood. All right, thanks for confirmation. All right, I'm glad we aligned, Henry. I'm so tired of politics, man. I've actually been on both sides in my life, and I find idiocy in both sides constantly. Just things where it's like it's almost done to spite the other side and is devoid of anything real and good. Anyway, Hood. Not much to report. Up 0.6%, down 0.25. Again, I think we're treading water with everything. I do think that we had kind of a hold pattern after excitement here. We went up so much. I mean, you just got to realize we were at 791 and we're already up to almost 21. But with everything we saw, and my friend Crossroads, Roy, he posted something about Hood today too. I'm probably going to show that here in a second. Yeah, I'll just leave my dialogue for that. But it was really positive. It just shows how much they brought in with these IRAs. And then again, I think they're with the credit card, they're going to bring in more with just regular investment accounts. I think they're going to start to see an influx, and we're going to see this affecting their bottom line, and that's going to be good. All right, next one. Let me see here. Square had a good week, it looks like. Then we'll hit SoFi. So Square is actually closing above its previous resistance line. It's a good sign. It's a good sign for at least a test up to like 87 to 89. So, and then if we get up there, that's also going to be a good sign. I mean, that's technically mean reversion too. I do just want to point that out. And this shouldn't be red. It should be like green. But if we get up here, this thing is up like 130% and covers like the vast majority of what its downside was. So theoretically, we could be taking a break around here. It just all depends on how well they execute each quarter. But again, it's had pretty good momentum. Maybe even we get crazy and go up to 115. But I think we're going to need to see good quarters for it to get much beyond that, because this has already had a great run. It was leading a lot of these others in the fintech world. All right, SoFi. And then I'll get like DLO I should get to. I'm trying to think of what else. Yeah, okay. There's a few more I can get. All right, so SoFi, again, I think that this one wants to go higher. It was down 0.82% today, but in after hours, it's up 0.27%. It's right underneath peak volume. I think it's underneath just very strong support with the 100 curling up, and then these previous support line or resistance lines turned into support. And then also, again, just based upon volumes, it wants to stay in here. It wants to break above this. And once it does that and starts to grind in here, I think it's just a matter of like a month or two max, and we'll be up to at least $10, if not testing 12. That's my take. Macro needs to hold up, though. Macro needs to hold up for that to happen. And maybe the narrative gets choppy for a little bit. That's totally possible. DLO. DLO is still down 80% from its high back in 2021. It was closed up 0.07% today. Again, I bought a little bit. I redid this to have a trend, fib-based trend extension. I thought that was going to be more accurate for a read. And you can see where, again, like we're right down here. If we can get above this .618, turn that into support, and then break out of this trend that's been going on since August, this downward trend, then I think this one's going to be ready to rock too. Matterport and DLO have me really excited. Let me see here. What else should I be covering? Oh yeah, MSTR. I should probably do that. And then I'll get, I think I'm probably ready to get into, oh, I might do, yeah, I'll do RG too. And then like my minor list. And then I'll jump into what you guys have. And again, so I've got a macro video probably coming this weekend. I think that'll be helpful for a lot of reasons. So MicroStrategy down 11.18%. We could drop further. We could actually drop further. I mean, we could do maybe a test back here again down into the 1300s. I mean, things could happen here. I don't know if that's going to happen though. If we have a good PCE, which I think we're going to have tomorrow, then we could totally just take off with this. And those guys could be left behind. I should do this real quick too. I need to go back. So economic data for tomorrow. Again, markets are closed, but these will be crucial. Lots of good data. PCE, of course, personal income and spending is beneficial. And then we've got like some retail inventories for February, wholesale inventories. Those will be interesting. But the Fed speech at 9:30 a.m. tomorrow is going to be really important. So that's all the stuff that I'll make sure I cover tomorrow. And who knows, I might jump on live for Jerome and see what he has to say and just give you my take at the time. Yeah, so that's that. And they all kind of look like this. Again, CLSK, let me see here. CLSK, somebody said, hey, it's going to close the week really rough. It's got this big, wick up here. And I was like, yeah, I kind of did over here too when it hit the .618. And don't get me wrong, that could be us getting ready to curve over and go down. We definitely have some divergence that's been building up. It could happen, but it's all dependent upon the underlying. If Bitcoin maintains strength, then we're going up. And if it doesn't, then we're going down. And then all you can do is hope that you have some cash or you have some investments that will still do well. I've still got about, I think it's $50,000 in hedges. So if things really start to shit, or if some of my other investments, like if Matterport or, DLO, or let's say PayPal keeps, just inching up each day, that has a huge multiplier behind it. So I could use that as cash, or I could use some of the stock that I bought, not options, as cash as well, because they've got it's a lower beta and it's not going to move as quick. So those are kind of my theories, or my thesis behind how I'm going to trade this if something bad does happen. And then I still have cash. I think I have like 85,000. So there's always that. All right. What was I going to look up? Oh, Cypher. And this is the last of my miners, and then I will move on to your stuff. So Cypher. So again, we're underneath volume levels here, so it could chop, but I still think that we're ready to go higher. And again, Bitcoin's going to drive it. And if we do go higher, then we'll test at least up to the $6 range. And if we can do that, you got to remember this one's still a small cap, 1.53. But I think we have to see some, like a new all-time high in Bitcoin to get much beyond 6. I do think it would send us higher though. It could maybe get us to test up near 8 if that was the case. All right, let me start at the beginning here. All right, so first post, Ishmael. Hi Jesse, thoughts on CMI and PWR? Thanks a lot for your content. Okay. All right, so hopefully you are an alpha member, Ishmael, because normally that's what we need to do. So I probably will check that later. So because we want to make sure, and I don't know if I've done these already. Let me see if I haven't. We want to make sure that if you're in the starter pack, you get 1 stock. And if you're in like an alpha, you get 2. And then if you're a whale, you get up to 3. That's how it works. Just for all the new people here, because we have a lot of new people. I think 300 people signed up to be members in just the last 36 hours, which is insane. All right, Cummings Inc. $41 billion. You got dividend. Let me look at finances here. All right, so now I'm going to try and pay attention to your guys' chat too, while I'm going back through and doing my order of operations from the beginning. All right, so Cummins, it's a $41 billion company per the current market cap. It's got 10% growth year over year. It does look like that's accelerating as of recent. Net income dropped this last year. These guys do industrial machinery. Lots of institutional ownership. Not too crazy on short interest. Expenses are going up. Cash flow is going up too. Wonder what that net income drop was. Selling more than buying for insider activity. Not much to speak of in regard to institutional ownership. All right. I don't like that the expenses are climbing all of a sudden. I just don't know what that's about. Maybe that's some one-time stuff. They were, for years it looks like buying back stock, but they gave up. Now they're bringing in $8.5 billion in revenue. They were pulling in $656 million, $800 million, kind of between that range. But they're a $42 billion company, so the PE is getting rich for somebody who's in like machinery, and I'm imagining manufacturing is slowing down for them. So I don't know, man. I wouldn't be super interested in this one. If I own this one, I don't know. Depends on what happens with the manufacturing sector in a little bit, but gosh, it's done so well. I don't know that I'd be excited about this, frankly, just because of how well it's already done, and then just the environment we're in. And let me look. What was their forecast? Did I look at their estimate? Yeah, so kind of back to normal, probably 500, 600 million in net income and slightly diminishing returns in revenue. So if business isn't going to pick up, I'll just do a trend-based extension here from, let's see, when was March 2020? Oh, they didn't even have a March 2020. Well, let's just go back to, no, that was March 2020. Okay, so we're going to draw that from the bottom to our high, to the next bottom, and we're above the .618. I don't think we'll get above it. I don't think we'll stay above it. Hey, thanks, Joe. Appreciate it, man. If you guys want a membership, click on that little thing. Get a free one. And then you can stick around later if you want. All right, so I think we're gonna stop here. I don't like this right now, man. Like, again, we've just had such. And here's the thing. Oh, volumes. Oh, this speaks loads. Okay, so I was saying this on another thread. Usually, you have a volume spike when you have like peaks and troughs. You can see here for years this didn't really have that, right? But look here. Look at the last major spike in volume. It was way down here at like January 2015 at the bottom. So ignore some of these others. They might be muddied for whatever reason. Maybe it has to do with manufacturing, machinery type stuff. I don't know. But you can see how this was a bottom. Well, now look at this massive volume. Massive volume like this, when you see it below its load and you see an RSI on the weekly time frame that's in the 70, like one of the highest levels it's been since 2007. I don't know. For this one, I would probably be taking money off the table and be using this as a source of funds for other investments. Okay? That's my take. So, without knowing much more about this, unless you have, again, just declining revenues, not a great outlook, in my opinion, for a company like this. Let's see. Do I have power? I have S power. That's sun power, not this one. So let me pull that up. Power. Is that right? Am I doing the right one? Yeah. All right. So let's look at this one and see what they do. Sure this is, oh, wow. Jesus. That's beautiful. 38 billion. You give me all the ones that went up a ton. I love the ones that haven't, but maybe this is short in the future. All right, so this is Houston, Texas, engineering and construction. So obviously Texas has been doing all right, or at least these guys have. Let's see though. Gosh, they're a $38 billion company. How much have they went up? This is the pandemic? What the fuck? What? Oh, wow. I mean, I don't know what these guys do. Maybe they can go higher. But I'm just gonna draw this just to get a bead. All right. So let's do an actual trend-based fib extension. This is just so wild. So I'm gonna do it since March because that was like a big deal. March 2020, and then we'll draw it up here. And then we'll look here. So maybe we get to the golden retracement zone at the .618. I wouldn't expect this to get a lot higher, and I say that for one simple rule. Now I'm going to actually add this to my short list without knowing what they are, just because I want to take a look later on. It's went up 10x. That's the rule. That's the short rule, right? Things that go up 10x in 4 years might make a good short. All right, so I'm going to look at the rest of the financials, though, real quick. But yeah, 10x increase. Now they're making 210 million. PE's 52. Again, it's just rich. Forward PE, price. All this looks rich. The valuation looks rich based upon what they've done. It looks like EPS is supposed to get a little better, but we're seeing a tabling of earnings. And I don't know how bad did these guys get affected in 2008? Were they around? .com bubble, they got crushed. 2008, 12, 35 to 12. Yeah, they got pretty crushed. Okay. And then they had a parabolic 10x. All right, yeah, so I'm going to keep this on my shorts list because, again, I just don't see enough positive about this. Do they do a dividend too? Yeah, so if they shit the bed, that dividend will go away. I betcha. Was it around after 2008? I mean, they didn't have one before that. But I could see the dividend or getting lowered a decent amount. Dividend 6.59%. That's a huge dividend. Yeah. Yeah, so I might keep this as a short list one. If you got more information on it, I'd be curious what it is. Yeah, I really appreciate you, Joe. You're awesome, man. All right, so next one. Let's look here. So I've gotten through my first request. Wow. All right, intelligent computing. All right, my buddy. Hey Jesse, thanks for everything. Good day for HUT. Finally, yep. I'm glad it was up for you, man. I don't love the company, but it could run. Please have a look at NTR. It seems to be consolidating on long-term support with potential for a 2 to 4x upside over 2 to 5 years. Okay, let's take a look. Let's see what that is. Let me save this other one. I don't think I've done this one before, so I'm going to add it. NTR. Also, this one keeps getting missed because I've been commenting too early, 5 a.m. Please have a look at TER, one of ARK's faves. Okay, I'll take a look at that too. Is that one in ARK G Fund? Just curious, if you know off the top of your head. Or what it is. Maybe it's a tech. All right, so wow, this did get crushed. Let's see, what is this time frame? That's March of 2020. Wow, so this is literally done a round trip. Very interesting. So March 2020. Yeah, let me save this one too. Wow, this is interesting. Let me do a percentage here. So from the pandemic, we went up. That's pretty good. Almost 400%. So 5x almost. What's the indicator that I use to display the colors? That is a fib. And so this one specifically, when you're looking at, so with Fibonacci's, there's two types. There's a retracement where if I thought that this was the peak right up here, and I wanted to see how far it was going to fall, like maybe it was down here, and I wanted to see how far it might go, I would draw a fib retracement, is what they call it. You go from the bottom to the top, and when you do that, it lets you see the levels where you might find support on the way down. But we believe, or at least intelligent computing, and from looking at the chart, I believe it too, we're consolidating above peak volume here on the profile, and that's a great sign. And we've got higher lows here on the RSI on the daily time frame, and we're seeing some of that same trend on the MACD. So this is all good. So it looks like we found the bottom. So what I'm doing is I'm going, hey, March of 2020 was a major low. Let's draw a line from there up to the peak that we saw in 2022, kind of when general markets were peaking, and then we'll draw it down to what I believe to be the new low. This is called a trend-based fib extension. Both of these are over here. I've got them liked because it's the stuff I use most of the time. And so again, fib retracement, I'd click that one, draw it from here, draw it up to here, and then I would see how far it drops. This one, I think we've already found the bottom, so I draw the trend-based fib extension instead so I can see where we could go next. Hopefully that makes sense. I do cover that in one of my trading view videos, but just so you guys know, that might be newer. Now, very, very good point from Intelligent Computing. This is an interesting one. Now, the market cap is $27 billion. So they pay a dividend here too. The dividend, what did it say? 83% payout ratio. Huge dividends. Let me see what we have here. 53 cent. Oh, okay. So, all right. So they've been stacking dividends every quarter. So the dividends are juicy on this one. Let's look real quickly up here and pull it up NTR. Let's see if it's worth its valuation though. 27 billion. It's only got a PE of 21. Forward is 13. Growth is diminishing though. I don't love that. But maybe it's a turnaround story. Wow, it did have a nice increase though from 2017 on. So 2023 was really the tough year for them. And they had, yeah, so they were doing really good in 2022. Really good. You can see why this thing dropped. What do their estimates look like? Getting a little bit better. They think it's going to get better. I wonder if these guys are really rate dependent. I don't know what you can tell me about them, Intelligent Computing. But I really wonder if they're rate dependent, if lowering of rates would help them. Agricultural inputs. I don't know. Maybe. I don't know. I don't know enough about this one to be able to really gauge. They were doing share buybacks. Again, they had, in one quarter, they had $3.5 billion in net income. That is a beautiful number. At that point, you can definitely see why they'd be maybe in the 100 billion range at that time, but they were way lower now. But this has shown us that it has the ability to go higher. So I just don't know enough about this sector and this company to know if it's going to get a turnaround here soon. It looks like it should from a technical level. It looks like it should from a technical level, but I don't know enough about it. So if you have any details where you can fill some of that in, Intelligent Computing, I'll make sure I follow you too, since you're giving so many of these on X, so that you can send me more details. All right, so TER, I'll look at that one too for you real quick. And I don't think I have that either. Paradigm. This is an ARCG favorite. And this is what? This is in electronic production and equipment. I don't know what that means. All right, let me look here. Let's see what we used to look like. Where's the way back? All right, so I'm going to do a trend-based extension. Again, so let me just show you this real quick. I'll show you the other one, the fib retracement. Here's March of 2020. Let's just agree that that's probably like a major low in the last 4 years. Now, I'm going to draw it up to here because this is how high we got. And then we're going to look to see where it can go. And did I do this backwards? 1 second. All right, yeah, there we go. That makes more sense. All right. Or does it? I don't know. My brain isn't working right now. Anyway, let me just confirm what a fib retracement should look like on my own time. And then I will make sure to do a better job in the next video. All right, so let me go back with this one though real quick. I'm going to do the trend-based fib extension. All right, so we've already done a little bit of a bounce in here. We're out of the first fib. We're up to the second. This is kind of mean reversion because this is where previous price action was above us. So this is going to be like key levels of resistance, at least in that regard. But you can see, though, we're above peak volume for a long ways. So we do have that level of support potentially beneath of us, too. It's a $17 billion company. Let me see here. What do they do? Semiconductor equipment and materials, very popular space right now. But look at this. They're not actually, so outside of that just being a niche that people are interested in, since 2021, this doesn't look good for them. I don't know what this is, just a massive amount of debt all of a sudden. They were buying back stock, but again, like, they've been going downhill since like 2021. I don't love that at all. And estimates going ahead are worse. So I don't love this company from a semiconductor point of view. Like, shouldn't they be excelling right now? And their guidance is getting worse. So I really have no comment because we've already bounced a little bit on this one. We could just do some chop. I think we could test back down to 97 because it just doesn't look enticing at all, honestly. Not right now. Disease Kodak. Hey, Jesse, I want to retire early in the future. My question is, how would you approach mixing IRA and regular account trading for earlier retirement since you can't withdraw from IRA if retired early? You can withdraw from an IRA if retired early, but you kind of have to be smart about it. Let me look at something here. Capital gains calculator. Let me see if I can find one of these. NerdWallet. This is a good one. So there's something to realize about capital gains. If you're retired, you could have like off years where you do withdraw from your IRA. But what happens when you withdraw from an IRA, like a long-term account that you have? Well, you're going to be taxed 10% early withdrawal penalty, like right out of the gate, right? Because you're withdrawing early from your account. But then on top of that, if these are long-term gains, then and this is just for the United States, and again, look at like at a tax accountant too and figure this out on your own. But you can have where you don't make that much. Like if you have no revenue coming in and you're retired, and let's say that you already cashed out of your regular trading account a large sum 1 year, and so you're living off of that and you're doing good, but maybe it's starting to whittle away, and you've got some of your other investments that are out there and in your IRA, but you're like, gosh, it'd be nice if I took a little bit off the table from my IRA. Theoretically, you could do that, especially if you were invested in stuff like if it's a huge account and you got plenty of it and you're just nibbling off of it so that you could survive. You can do that, and I personally do that. I have years where I do that as well. Probably not this year, but there are years when I do it, and it just simply has to do with the fact that if you're married and have no income coming in, and you make, and I don't even know if I know how to pull this up. They've changed everything recently. But you make a bunch of money. Oh, right up here. I can just show you here. Let me just do this. So married filing jointly. Let's say you made, in capital gains, you made like less than $94,000. It's got a 0% tax bracket. So yes, you will have to pay a penalty, an early withdrawal penalty, but you can kind of rotate and talk to a tax accountant. That's probably the best I can do. Talk to a tax accountant, but there are ways to make it to where you can pull from a retirement account earlier than you normally would. I just wouldn't do it with a large sum of money because, again, especially if it's like a Roth. Roths are awesome because they're after tax. And so, again, I'm not a tax accountant. Talk to somebody else. But since they're after tax, you don't want to withdraw from those. Do not withdraw from those. Because at the time of, because you'll have an early penalty, and if you're withdrawing a decent amount, again, you could pay additional tax on top of the early withdrawal fee of like 10% again in the United States, and that would suck when this would all be tax free later on. So don't withdraw. Personally, I would never withdraw from a Roth IRA. I would withdraw from a traditional account first, after it's long term, so it's been held for at least a year in those positions. Because again, that's where you've got long-term capital gains, and the tax structure for that is very reasonable, especially if you don't have an income. I mean, look at this. You could withdraw up to $583,000 in long-term capital gains and pay 15% for the amount from 583 down to 94 grand. And then everything under 94 grand, you pay nothing. So those are the kind of accounts you'd want to pull from first so that you could keep that tax real low. And then if you had to do it again later on, I would pull from the traditional IRA next if you needed money for some reason and you didn't have another form of income. I would pull from that next. And again, I would try and pull from that in a year where you're not pulling from like a large amount from a long-term account, like rotate maybe years. And then if you really got desperate, pull from a Roth, but that should be your last resort. Don't do that because that's the most tax advantaged account that you have. So leave that alone. All right, we got a little bit of tax stuff in there. Let's move on. Hopefully that's helpful, man. And you can chat me up too. Again, I'll give you as much as I can. Not a tax accountant though, so go to other people too. Go to the guys that are much smaller than me. I could be wrong about some stuff, and you don't want to have a huge tax bill because you listen to some dude in his basement. But hopefully I can give you some guide. Rocket Lab, what was this one? It's at 420 today, just saying. All right, that's funny. All right, so we're done looking at this one. Next. Tim Wolf. Hi, Jesse. Rolled over my 401k into Hood for the gold match. I have some more funds now for my Tesla portfolio. I only own stock at this point. Do you think the price of options are still reasonable? I do think it's reasonable. Again, just from showing you my account there earlier, it's pretty flat since I bought them. They're not too up or down. But I will say this, man. I do think there's downside risk. I think there's downside risk in Tesla stock more so than I think there's upside. So if you wanted to be safe, I would wait a week. And I think it's on Sundays of next week. We get Q1 delivery numbers for Tesla. Maybe see how it does then. If the stock tanks, that might be like the perfect time for you to get in. And it's awesome what you did, Tim. And people should do this. If they're not in Robinhood as an investment, they might want to try and put like one of their IRAs in it. I've got a link I can give you. Let me know if you need it in the comments. But I love this because our friend Tim, since he's a gold member and pays $4.99 a month, he was able to transfer over his IRA and get a 3% match. I think that's only through like maybe another month or 3 weeks. So you'd want to do this stuff soon. But if you transferred over $1 million, you got $30,000 from them. And yes, you have to stay signed up as a gold member, but you have $2.25, I think, million in FDIC insurance because they pool it. And I don't know. I think it's a pretty good deal, man. 3% match. 3% is like easy money. And that's like what some people are getting for their yield in bonds, or like a little bit less, but still that's great. And then you can take that and invest in a stock like he's looking to do with Tesla. And I think that's brilliant. All right, Sean Castorano. Hi, Jesse. Thanks for all your hard work and daily recaps. Learning a lot. Can you take a look at snow? I think I did look at snow recently. Let me take a look though. I think these guys do great, right? Like they're just let me see. They're either the ones that do great or the ones that don't. I can't remember which one of these. I might be confusing them. Snowflake. Oh yeah, money loser. So again, revenue's going up. All that's great. Operating expenses are going up though too. Cash flow is okay. 32% revenue growth year over year is okay. Short interest is not that high. Estimating that revenue goes up. They're actually talking about a positive EPS, which is nice. But this is a $53 billion market cap, and they don't make money. So I can't, people ask me to look at this one and handicap it. I just can't tell you to buy something that's $53 billion, even if they are consistently beating guidance and they do have strong growth. I just can't tell you to invest in something like that, man. And again, volume peaks down here. We had a volume peak that marked the bottom of this last big dump. And then the next one that surpasses that volume peak, that's usually an indication that you might be going the other way. So maybe this is an indication that we're looking to go up over here. I don't know. But it was on the dump. I don't know. It's just the market cap is so high. I can't get excited about this. I just can't, man. If they start actually making money, even then it could still be overvalued for a while. And the PE ratio, I mean, again, it's just like they haven't had any profitable quarters for it to calculate property, but it's stupid high. Sean 919. Hey Jesse, could you please take a look at CHGG, online learning platform with a possible AI boost? It's been absolutely destroyed the last few years. Wondering if there's anything there. All right, I like ones that are broken that might be fixable. It sounds kind of familiar, but maybe I'm just confusing it with a different ticker. No, I don't have it. So let's pull it up. And somebody did reach out to me about actually helping me get it to where I can put all the charts that I do on a website with some tools that are already out there. So I might actually be looking at doing that soon. And again, I don't know how I'd do that. I probably want to only make that available to people that are members and support. I think. I don't know. I'll have to think about it. All right, woof, this guy's slaughtered. You were right. That's a big drop, man. So let's do a trend-based extension here. So we're going to say 2015 was, well, maybe we'll do it more recently here. I want to do March of 2020 because that's like just the most recent. But yeah, this thing got destroyed. I'm not even sure it's done dropping. I mean, maybe. Do I have the volume profile here? Do we not have the volume? Oh, I don't have the volume profile. What the heck? Oh, all right. I'll have to fix this later. I'll get the volume profile later. I don't want to screw with it right now, so I'll have to overwrite this. Yeah, so how much did this go down? Oh yeah, absolutely destroyed. 93%. Okay, so let's see what these guys do. It's still a $780 million company. CHGE, Chegg. Online learning platform. So the quarterly is flat. That does not help their cause. Their cash is depleting. That does not help their cause. Operating expenses, they've started to like save a little bit of money recently. Short interest is pretty high, 15%. Estimates are not getting better for revenue. EPS is a little bit better, and they started selling. They were buying it. They were hopeful in early 2023, and then more recently here we got insiders selling it. Institutional owners are selling even. I don't know, man. We got to see something better here. Stock-based comp. These guys are still able to pay themselves 17% of revenue is for stock. I don't know. That's not sustainable. They're going to have to start diluting more. Shares were going down, but they're going to have to start diluting more if they want to be able to maintain because they have no cash anymore. And I don't know. You just got to see this has got to get better. And so maybe it should be 780 million. It's hard to say anything positive yet. This could turn into a bottoming pattern from a technical level. This is definitely a bottoming pattern. When I get the volume in here, you'll see that. But yeah, I don't know. It's not that interesting to me. It just doesn't look like it's recovering. All right. Put money into a Roth. Yes, people should be maxing out IRA contributions. They should match out their 401k match for their company first. If your company does like a 50% match for like the first 3% or something, like do that. And then if you're maxing that out, you should be maxing out IRAs next. And Roth is such a great one because it has no tax at the end. And if we're in an environment right now that will be higher for taxes in the future, yes, my answer would be yes if somebody asked me that. We will be seeing higher taxes in the future. I think you can almost be guaranteed that. You can't have all this money printing and not require a lot of tax receipts. But that will also keep the Fed printing a bunch of money because they can't get taxes to sustain the bubble, which is just our existence now, without printing money to be able to prop up the economy in order to be able to get higher tax receipts. So that's the only way it works. So put it into a Roth. If you can do it now, match your Roths for you and your wife or whatever, or if you're the wife, your husband. But do that, at least here in the States. Oh, is Chegg a Chinese company? If it's a Chinese company. No, it says California. At least it's headquartered out of California. So no, technically it wouldn't be. Chris, holy shit. Love to see the growth. Okay. Give Chew a look. Yes, sir. Chris is a good friend. So we will look at his Chew. All right. Is this Chewy or Chew? What is this actually? What is this company? Chew? CHEW? Oh, wait, wrong ticker. Chewy. Okay, thank you. So you just went with the word, huh? The first couple letters of the word. initially. All right, let's take a look here. Chewy Inc. Woof, been beat up. Is this it? You know what? If this is about dogs, this is going to be really funny. Let me see. Internet retail. No, maybe not. What is this? I don't know. I've heard this term, but I don't know what this company does. Chewy, internet retail. Oh, it is dogs. Then my woof was definitely good. 4.74% short interest. Revenues are going up. Net income starting to turn into something. Oh, but it's a $7 billion valuation. So it's got a PE of 174, forward of 51. It's too highly valued, in my opinion, for this slow rate of growth. 5% year over year. Insider activity has them selling more than anything. Institutional ownership plummeted. So I see nothing interesting here. Stock-based comp. Let's see what they're doing for stock-based comp. It's 2%. That's not a crazy number. But again, their cash is going up. I guess that's good. Operating expenses are starting to go down, but they're still overvalued. Final answer. Pab. Hey, Jesse, would love your take on New. New is a great company. My friend Future Invest, Tanner from Future Invest, he talked about New for a long time, and I didn't really listen to him. And it's still doing well. I didn't like it because it was based out of the Cayman Islands, and I'm just really pissed about Chinese stocks doing that, basing themselves out of the Caymans to where you don't really own anything. But really, for Latin America, that's probably the only way they're entering this market right now. And Warren Buffett, I believe, is actually a shareholder in New. And this is one of the fastest growing banks. I mean, it is the fastest growing bank on earth, I think. Right? It's so crazy. Like, look at this. Look at this. It's already near its all-time highs. I think it was SPAC'd in 2021. And this is just you're gonna love the way this looks. So this is what I call a steady Eddie. Like, it's just amazing. And so if anything, it's highly valued though. The PE is 56 for like a bank that's pretty high. Forward PE 27. People like to use different valuations. All of them are kind of red because you're paying a premium for this. And so it's a $56 billion company, but you're doing that kind of for a reason. It's the growth. Look at these year over years. This in the pandemic, this company had 359, or this bank had 359 million in revenue. They had 2.2 billion last quarter. That was for the year. 2.2 billion last quarter. So the growth here is astronomical, 125%. And the estimates, they might be slowing down a hair on the trend, but it's still just pretty parabolic. Maybe we could see $500 million in revenue here soon. So it's starting to grow into its valuation. It's one of those companies where it's doing so well that if shit hit the fan and you just held it for another year, even if it dropped, it would probably grow into its valuation and you'd be back up just from that. So it's hard to keep this company down. So it's a good one where if I start to make a bunch of extra money, this is one of the ones I'm dialing into. It's going to be like a New with some of my cash. And like, again, Palantir, like I started to do, I only put 3,500 into Palantir so far. That's all I got. So really small nibbling. But there's companies I want to get into. New would be one of those because it's just beautiful. It's just beautiful. And institutional ownership is increasing. Sure, they sold some shares, but you can't even say anything about that. You can't say that's negative when in January of 2023, the stock was $3.38 and then it went to 12. So you can't even call it, this is a bank. So you can't say that's negative at all. It's not. So I love New. I think it's a great company. And I think this has treated Tanner really well. I mean, look at this. Look at this. Like, just expenses have started to go up more recently, but that's because they're ramping into other Latin American markets. And they could start to see a slowdown in growth again if that PE gets hit, though. But this is a company where they are really good at executing. They're really good at everything. And so if they do take a hit and the PE becomes more reasonable and just like some of it becomes more reasonable, I would probably, again, use that as a dip buying opportunity. All right, enough about New. Logan, speaking facts again. Hey, Jesse, thought on SFIX, Stitch Fix. This company's revenues declined substantially from their highs in 2021. This was a $100 plus stock. Now it's in the twos. Wow, that's 95%. Woof. Company cash is half the market cap. What did they do? All right, so I might pull this one up over here first. What happened to them, man? That must have been a substantial decline. Oh, wow, it's consistent. Yeah, okay. So they were doing well, and then they topped out in 2021, and now they're going down. And what is a pretty big decline, a negative 20% just year over year. Net income burning hundreds of millions a quarter. But wow, they have been beat up. This is apparel though. So I don't even know if discretionary spending does well even if the Fed lowers rates, especially if these guys are in the lower income bracket for what their apparel is geared towards. Their guidance is still going lower because you got to remember the bottom 1/3 of this country, maybe even the bottom like 40%, are getting hurt more than they've been helped. And even with lower rates, it's not going to be immediately impactful for them. They might be able to borrow, but they're probably indebted and have low savings because these people don't have assets. They don't own real estate. They don't own stocks. So if this is a lower end apparel retail, I could see them just getting more pain in the future, not less. Short interest has started to climb the last few quarters. Institutional ownership's kind of petered off since 2022. They haven't been buying or selling shares. I mean, it was good in 2023 in Q2. So they had some confidence in the company then, but it just doesn't look great. Stock-based comp is 6% of revenues. It's probably a little high considering how they're doing and that they're diluting share value. Now let's look at the actual stock. So this could be a turnaround one in the future. Oh, let me pull it up. So in the future, if this company starts to do better and you're seeing it before other people, like you still keep a beat on this for our group, then bring it back and we can talk about it more. Because if this starts to hint of a turnaround or a bottoming, it could be interesting. But the economy, you'd have to remind me later on, if the economy is stable, then that's probably a sign that we're going to be okay on this one. And we do have some technical stuff where, again, like it looks like the trough was way down over here from a technical level, and that it's starting to get a little bit better. But again, this is starting to diverge down, so it looks like it could make a lower rung. 114 to 2, 317 billion. So yeah, if this company isn't failing, and I don't know, are they downsizing locations? There's like a lot of stuff to know about this. If you do any research and you can figure out whether or not this is a good company, bring it back. But for now, I would say still stay away just because there's no sign of a turnaround. And I don't know if the macro is going to help them even if rates come down. That's probably my final answer on that one. They do have negative EPS of 1, negative 1. Yeah. Yeah, it just doesn't look good, bro. It does not look good. But if the narrative is this company goes from awful to just bad, then there could be a decent. I agree. So again, if you could follow this company and if you see any indication that things might be turning around, you let us know and we'll pull it up again. Can you take a look at, Ryan O'Malley, can you take a look at BTBT, which is Bit Digital? Yes, I can. And this one, I don't know. I might be changing my mind on this one. I don't know if I'm changing my mind on this one. The CEO of the company was talking about how they got their, I think their H100s up and running, and how he believes that these are going to be very profitable, like greatly profitable. I don't remember his exact wording. Let's go back and look. So this would be interesting from a number of perspectives, because if this also applies to HUT, this could be interesting. And maybe I should do an interview with Sue. Maybe I will. She's asked me like 3 times, man. She's been very polite. Out of all the people that I have talked to, that have talked about interviews, I probably owe her one the most from HUT 8, just so you guys know. So maybe I should give that to her. But let me scroll down. It's in here somewhere. I want to find it because I think it's in here. Oh, maybe I didn't bookmark it. Dang it. You know what? Let me see if I can just find him by searching for the symbol. But I found his comments interesting. Is he in here? That's the CEO. So I'll just go to Samir's site. I should follow him anyway. So right here, we created the largest AI center in Iceland with over 2,000 NVIDIA H1000 or H100s clustered here. And yesterday we announced plans to double the size of this already gigantic fleet to meet business demand. So he's telling us business demand is high. And then somebody said, What is your projected ROIC on the HPC business, and how does it compare to using the same capital to increase mining hash rate? Assume BTC price is stable at 70K. I know you probably can't answer that question in here, but I'm just curious. This is what investors want to know. So he did kind of answer that question. He said, there will be more information on this within our Q1 financials, but I can say for now it's extremely lucrative and also certain for 3 years. So if there's any statement I want to know the truth of, it is that one. It is that one. Because sometimes, like, in the Bitcoin mining world, this happened too. It's like, okay, everybody got really excited in 2017, bought a bunch of mining equipment, graphics cards, all these things, and then they found out the hard way how that industry really works. And the people that sold the picks and shovels, NVIDIA and AMD, made a fortune. They did really great, went up to the sky. But the people that bought those shovels, like, let's say, so the Bit Digitals and the HUD 8s, they thought they were guaranteed to just have wicked amounts of revenue for a long time, but their projections were miscalculations and they did not do well. So is this something that could do well? Is he right or is he wrong about this 3-year curve? I need to understand this better. I need to understand this better because this, again, could be, if he's right about this, Bit Digital's tiny company. When you look at their financials here, let me see if I can pull them up. Yeah, let me see. I'll use Sebastian Ski. This is his thing. I have access to it because of his Patreon. He is brilliant as far as tracking Bitcoin mining equipment or companies. But yeah, let me see here. Bit Digital. Okay. So this company right now only has a 2.88 exahash for their hash rate for Bitcoin mining equipment, which is not great. They've started to stack more Bitcoin recently. Cool. It's not really that substantial. It's going to get FASB accounting. Doesn't matter too much, though, because it's such a small amount of money. Their market cap, it says, is 2.4 billion. Is that right? Are they really 2.4 billion? I feel like they are not. No, they're 244 million. Is that a typo, or did I just read that wrong? Maybe he's got a typo. Oh, no, it's 244 million. He's just got some weird, like, yeah, he should round that. All right, cool. So it's a small cap. It's a really small cap. And all this money that they put in to this equipment, if it actually starts to generate some returns for these guys, because they're not making a lot of money, man. They only made 16 million in Q4 2023. That isn't dick. And they still were in the red for net income. So, and that's with FASB accounting rules, which I'm sure they used. So these guys have not done well. They do have a decent cash position from share dilution. And again, they're buying this other equipment. Are they going to make money off of that? Are operating expenses going to stabilize up here? Like, there's a bunch of stuff I don't know, but I'm super interested to see where it's headed. I like the fact that their estimates are headed towards higher, but I wish they were actually making money. So that's the thing that really matters. So Q1, to kind of get back to it over here, Q1, I'm interested to see what Samir has to say about that. Maybe he's somebody I should interview here too, along with Sue. But I'll be interested to see if Sue from HUD 8 gives me my segments. She talked about it inside of this DM that she gave me. So if they start to give the breakdown by the different segments of business that they have, and then I can see some success in this AI side, my thought process on the whole, like, these companies are idiots for diversifying into AI might change, but I need to understand that pipeline. I need to understand how profitable it'll be, or will a bunch of companies rush into it and order a bunch of these things, get them, and then find out that that 3-year demand they thought they had wasn't really 3 years, and that they should have been putting that money into maybe just buying Bitcoin or ramping up their hash rate so that they could capitalize off of Bitcoin. I think that's what they should be doing. That's what makes sense to me right now. But if Samir is right and I'm wrong, then that could flip the script. So one of these, like, especially a Bit Digital being as tiny as it is, could turn around and be really positive if all of a sudden they got a lot of net income that's pushing forward in Q1. But again, I don't know. I'd rather be Best of Breed. I'd rather be CleanSpark. I'd rather be Cypher. I'd rather be MicroStrategy. Heck, even Mara. Heck, even... No, I'm not going to say HUD. I'm not going to say HUD. Not yet. Sue's going to have to earn that back. All right. Anyway, so Doge. Want to look at Doge. Doge I have. Doge I have for sure. Doge has done actually really good, I think. It was running pretty good. Yeah, see, look at this. So Doge is doing great. It hit this next fib level. Doge is running, man. I think meme stocks are back in, well, Doge and Whiff at least. Doge and Whiff. And it looks like some of the others, and Bonk too. Yeah, so there's some Infloki. Yeah, so there's meme stock run. Again, we're seeing a meme stock run. So you're probably going to see more of that. Let me see if it got past this. Let me get out of here. So it did go above this, but it stopped at this fib. I think if the markets don't fall apart, this thing can go higher. Otherwise, it maybe grinds under here for a little bit. But we could go up to like next level, 26, 27 cents. I mean, we're going to $1, I think, this cycle. I think there's no way around it. I think we'll go to $1. We'll go up here. Well past it, honestly. I think we can go past it. We could even maybe do 2. But you got to realize, though, this is a $31 billion cap. So maybe 150 might be a better honest number. This isn't like Bonk, where it's a really small cap. So it's already big. And so it takes more money to move it. Kava. Somebody wanted me. Oh, I just lost my place. Let me get back. Kava, please. Carlo. Kava. Let me look at Kava. Do I already have that one? That's not Carvana, right? No, I don't think so. I think Kava is... Oh, yeah, okay. Carvana is a different one. This is Kava Group. And this is just like straight up. Why did I want to look at this one? So this one sucks because it's doing so well. This is what I don't like about Kava. Because it was $28. Now it's $70. Well, I guess that's not... it's more than doubled. But it's like a straight line. Just like a straight line, pretty much. What is it valued at? It's $8 billion. What does it look like over here? Kava Group. They are restaurants. Oh, I think I pulled this up before. I don't even think this looks good. Well, they got revenue bump. Their EPS is okay. Insider activity, we don't have anything for that. Let me see. Anything else? Ratios, do I care much? Operating leverage. So, I mean, I guess technically revenue increased 36% year over year. That is not a bad thing. And again, from 22 to 23, it went up too. So this is like a growing restaurant business, not super scalable compared to like SaaS or something like that. But it's $8 billion and they're bringing in like single digit millions for net income. And is the growth sustainable? And if I look over here, maybe a little bit, but nothing telling me that it deserves to go a lot higher than it has already gone. That's my take on Kava. All right, don't beat up on MSTR. No worries, still up for the week. Yes, MicroStrategy is, I mean, you saw the comparison, right? Like, MicroStrategy is above everything for the month. 97% on the month. And then you have stocks like Mara down 26% or Bitfarms down 37%. So again, some of these laggards could start playing catch up tomorrow or MicroStrategy, but MicroStrategy will have its time. So, and it's already done. It's done stupid well. Like stupid well. If we go to the 3-month, look at this. It's up 163%. Let's go back a year. So it's CleanSpark and MicroStrategy and everything else. Nothing else comes even close. Nothing. So you got to give these things a break. They're best of breed, but other stuff will play catch up every once in a while, man. Who bought Matterport? I did, but yesterday, and I'm up a ton of money on it, and I don't hate that. We call them poor. Yes, we do, printed. All right. Jeff Lolacher. Hopefully I said that right. Hello, can you please take a look at Upwork? That's one I haven't looked at in a while. I'm going to start off with looking at their financials because I should actually do that for some because if they suck, like, I don't know if it matters much. Oh, Lisa, you did respond to me too. Oh, hey. All right. So Palantir 3030. That's my buddy Adam. Hey, dude. How's it going? I saw you with the mitt. Badass. I'm glad you guys got to hang out. Looking good, by the way. Love to see some YouTube videos from you. Miss ya. Lisa Marie. As a woman, I can tell you that Stitch Fix is not great business model for ordering clothing. Ah, okay. Then I don't care about that one. So, again, that could be in a perpetual state of decline, and maybe they were interesting for a bit. Chris, do you think end of Q1 added to the short report on MSTR? Do you think end of Q1 added to the short report on MSTR? What do you mean by that? Sorry. Just as I'm pulling through Upwork, if you could clarify, Chris, what you mean on that. All right, so revenue on Upwork looks actually really good. And, 2023 was profitable. Guess this is what happens when you have new leadership, huh? No shit. This is a profitable company. I mean, that's good. Let's look at estimates. Oh, the end of Q1? You mean like taxes coming up or which part? Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of stuff going on. That short report was the big thing, man. That short report was definitely the big thing. All they had to do was do that and then print, and they got down to like what, 12, 13, or 14%, I think, in a day. And they might get down even more next week if this PCE doesn't come in well. So, I mean, it might turn into a good bet. At the very least, they probably already taken some off the table, so that short report worked out well for them. Wow, Upwork is really nice. When did this happen? They're actually growing EPS. They're still growing revenue. They're becoming a company, like a pretty good company. Whereas before it just looked like a nightmare into 2022, and now they're like legit. Excuse me. And they've been buying back, so they believe in the company. Institutional ownership has went up. Short interest has gained a little bit, but I don't know why. I don't know why you would go. Maybe because Cree. Maybe there's something. Maybe there's something they understand underneath this, the underlying business fundamentals. Maybe they look good here. Huh. I don't know enough. I don't know. Yeah, I gotta figure it. I gotta figure this out. Because short interest is going up, but everything looks good. What does the chart look like? This is really interesting. This is an interesting one. It's like a puzzle. This is all right. This is Upwork. I should probably use that one. I'm gonna use that one, and then I might just have to clean it up. All right, there we go. So this one looks like it could roll over still because it's 1.68 billion. Is that right? UPWK. UPWK. But gosh, it looks so nice. I don't know. I need to look at this one and understand this better because this looks like it's either. Here's what could be happening. If it doesn't break down from here, this upward sloping support line, if it doesn't break down out of this, then that is a good sign. That's actually a great sign. If it grinded above this fib here for a while, and so this is one I think I might have had this on my figure out list, and I just haven't put any time into it, but I like it. Because if it grinds here, like let's say for weeks, a few more months, then we could curl up if they meet expectations with Q1 and there's nothing weird that's sitting underneath of this. The increased short interest weirds me out. So I want to figure that part out. And again, it's like commercial services, personal. So I don't know. I just need to figure that out and figure out if there's something that they see that I don't. All right, let's move on. So I will look at that one. This is interesting. Printed pixels. Bought some MicroStrategy today. RSI and MACD is pretty stable, and the shorts and BTC are getting crushed right now. Way more inflows. They could be. Bitcoin could drop. I actually think we're still. I think we're still headed higher, but just don't be surprised if for some reason, if PCE sucks tomorrow, and look for that in the morning, right? And then the Fed's speech at 9:30. I should be hosting at least part of that, if not both, in some videos since we don't have anything else going on tomorrow. But we could get some weirdness. These are going to be. This is some big economic data, and the speech tomorrow is going to matter. So it's either going to be game on, or it's going to be. This could be weird for a couple weeks, maybe a month. So we'll see what happens. Yeah, maybe Chris. Maybe it's taking some profits. That could be it. All right, let me get back over here. Where was I? Somebody thought my song was banger. Thank you, Carlo. All right, Shiva, what have you done with MTTR? All right, so to be clear, I don't think I did anything. Even the number of views that were in it in a private video, unless some of you guys are ballers and I don't know about it, like Yeah, I don't know. The options could be moved. And again, in the video, I warned, like, I'm mostly buying stock, buying some options, but I'm mostly buying stock because this thing, I was able to move the price myself. So the price being able to move on options is not too much of a surprise. I don't think it would take a lot of volume for Matterport to move with the options. And let me just pull that one up again real quick, so you can see it. But this one can move with the options, right? Like, that's totally possible. But let me say this, and I'll just look over here. So yeah, it did too, man. So I'm already up 57% since yesterday morning, or when I bought. I guess I bought the day before, I think. And then I bought some yesterday morning. Yeah, I bought both days. And then I came out with the video later that morning. So, but this is crazy. So it's actually up like way more than I thought it was going to be. I didn't even realize how much I made off of that. So, but again, the options that could be moved pretty easily because the volume was very low. And that's why I was telling people to be cautious. I bought some of mine, I think in the 0.3 range. Yeah, 0.31 on average. And I said I'd like to get it in the 0.2s or 0.25, but it went all the way up to 0.65% or 0.65 on the contracts, which is crazy. But again, the stock has climbed a ton too. The stock is up. I'm up 21.65%. So that has went up a lot. But we closed the week good. I mean, again, the biggest weekly close in, like, what was it, 3 years or something? Yeah, 3 years. So this one can run. I didn't do anything. The volumes here, what did they have for volume today? Average volume, 3.4 million. No, but today was 9.85 million. And that's not dollars, that's shares. So I do not have that level of influence. I would be super arrogant if I thought I did. Now, the power of social media and other people spreading stuff. And then again, if a bunch of people were short, this chart was in the right place to explode higher. So it can go up a lot. But yeah, I didn't do anything with that. But glad it went up, and I hope some of you guys got in on that, man. I hope some of you guys made money off of it. Ugyen, hopefully I'm saying this right, man. Sorry. Thinlay, hey Jesse, how's it going? Sold to Palantir for Clean Spark today. Yeah, dude, that's so cool. I think that's the right move, bro. You saw Clean Spark, head and shoulders. You got out of that, and then you got some CLSK on a decent dip, down 7-8% today. I think that's not a dumb move. That's how I would have done it too if I was still in Palantir. Paul, thank you for Matterport. Yeah, dude, you're welcome. Mr. Casper, Clean Spark is dead. I know you're fucking with me, Casper, so I'll let that go. Disease Kodak, hey Jesse, I had a big question earlier. Yep, okay, we answered it. Amir, good afternoon. Yeah, listening on the drive home. Thanks, Jermaine. Disease Kodak, if you get to it, chat, it would be sick. Okay, all right, cool. Amir, my one big question, what's with the dollar rising? I will be covering that probably tomorrow. So I'll do a video tomorrow, at least with the Fed, and covering what happened with economic data, and then also talking to the Fed. I'm probably going to do another video specific to macro related stuff that I think I'll just paint my vision of a bunch of brilliant people I follow and my interpretation of their thoughts and data. So I'll try and do 2 videos tomorrow with that, okay? And check it out. Got banned from the Printed Pixels. Got banned from Reddit in 2021 for asking how they're gonna compete with the Tesla Semi. Fuck those guys. Fuck Reddit. Reddit's fucking trash. It's garbage. It's garbage. It's just full of censorship. They downvote anybody who doesn't agree with the consensus, and the moderators are just the whatever I fucking want to do, I'm gonna do. Do you want people that can do that in your life? I don't want it in the government. I sure as fuck don't want it in my social media platform. Fuck Reddit, and fuck them too for shitting on you and blocking you, Printed Pixels. All right, HPHM. Are you telling me to look up HP? Because you gave me $1, and I appreciate that. But I'm not sure if that's the request. So if that is the request, throw something in your comments. All right, let's see here. I'm just going to catch up with current ones too, make sure I didn't miss anything. For Matterport, would you recommend waiting for a lower entry or enter at 0.65 cents. With the leaps, man, I don't know. I would wait, dude. I would wait because again, I bought it at 0.31 and I felt like I pushed it higher. It was previously at 0.25. So I pushed that contract up. Now it's doubled, more than doubled from my level. I would not touch that with options. Again, with options, you want to get it when it's down here, man. That's why I went in with mostly stock too, because I saw that I was moving the options and I'm like, and that's why I warned against doing that. I would wait. You could wait like a week or two. People will forget about the video. Maybe we've had some time and the market's kind of consolidated because this could consolidate down here. This play was 6 months to 18 months. That's my play. Technically, it's good for almost 2 years, right? It's good for like 1.9 months, but or 1.10 months. But you don't want to be holding on to the end because of the theta decay. Watch my options video. It'll be at the end of this if you don't understand that. But I would not, just like I'm not going to sell. Somebody asked me if I was going to sell today. I will not fucking sell. I'm not giving people a video yesterday morning and having it pump like fucking crazy and then selling it the next day. That's what assholes do and scam artists. And I think I even said in the video, I'm in this for 6 months to 18, unless we hit my targets. If we get to 5, I'm selling some. If we get to 10, fuck, I might be out, at least out of the options, and probably out of a decent amount of stock. But I'm not going to take a 1-day play and fuck a bunch of people so I can turn a profit. This is not how I work, man. But yeah, I think your entry, be cautious. If you're going to buy anything, buy stock over the short term. If it retraces, if we got down to like the 50 moving average at like in the low 2s, then maybe get some stock. If we get down even further and close this little gap down here that we formed on the daily, be right around $2, get options because maybe the contract's been cut in half. So do that then, but don't start with options. Not after this massive run, dude. We just launched in like less than a week. We launched 35%. That's just too much. Never start with options when they had that kind of run because you'll just get wrecked, man. And I don't want you to. Ed, got my bingo card ready. Sweet. Hopefully I covered it. I think I had a few rants. Not sure if I ranted about China, but there you go. I just said China. Casper, DXY is going down against Bitcoin, gold, and S&P. Yes, that's true. But other things are going down against that and the dollar. Because the dollar is still the cleanest shirt in the dirty laundry. It's the safest place you can be for fiat. But fiat is not a safe place. Smokey, what's up? Ogian, God, I hope I'm saying that right, man. If I'm butchering your name, let me know. Also, PayPal wants to run really bad. I hope macro holds up. Yeah, dude, it's setting new metrics every day. It doesn't give a fuck about what's going on. So it's a very good sign. Disease Kodak, first time being here live off work today. Hey, thanks, dude. Glad you're here, man. I can confirm Jesse is a great human. Thanks, Chris. All right, bouncing between chats here. Let me get back over. Okay, Sensley, or Sean Slee. Jesse, what are your thoughts on ETH going forward? Doesn't sound like the ETF. I don't think the ETF's going to happen, and I'm more interested in layer 2s turning a profit. I do think that all of crypto will do well. I believe this just like Michael Howell does, one of my favorite macroeconomists. And I think Lynn Alden feels a little bit this way too. There's just a number of really brilliant people that I think realize that crypto will be a benefactor of failing fiat. All of it will, because people will just be looking for alternatives that can preserve their wealth and maybe get them a nice return and a yield, while the money printer has to go burr. So again, they're going to want to make money and at least preserve wealth. So they're going to be looking towards these other vehicles. So I think ETH could do well off of that. I'm not excited about it, though. I'm more excited for Solana. I'm more excited for layer 2 solutions like Arbitrum and even Optimism, even though they dilute a lot through unlocks. And just other layer 2s across other networks. I'm more interested in those. Bulk of my shit coins right now, probably Solana. I'm more excited about Bonk than I am Ethereum right now, if that tells you anything. It's just been disappointing. The EIP 4844, though, lowered transaction fees for layer 2, just so people know. Some of them by up to 12x. So that's beneficial. And that's the part of the Ethereum ecosystem I'm really interested in right now. Even though they are deflationary, but it's just like, I don't know. I don't know if there's going to be the narrative this cycle. It's kind of winner take all. And Solana is the winner. Unless something crazy happens. Printed Pixels reminds me a bit of Mara. Too many plates spinning. Yeah. Oh, for HUD. Yeah. I agree. And again, maybe it gets better. I don't know. Would like to see you pick Sue's brain. Sue's a badass. I like her a lot. It's pretty hot too. But don't tell her I said that. All right. Unless she's watching this, which I don't. Anyway, Albert Q. Data-driven investing. Love him. He's great. Very smart. On X, had interesting points about SoFi Q1. SoFi guiding for lower rev Q1 than in Q4 of 2023. Do you think they're sandbagging it or being realistic? What are you expecting Q1? I think they're sandbagging. I think they're sandbagging similar to PayPal. That said, maybe they were doing that because they were expecting an economic downturn. I listen to their CFO all the time. I forget her name. She appears on CNBC a lot. So I think that they're worried about an economic downturn. So I think that they're kind of plotting for that. And so I think they still outperform in Q1. We also have all this weirdness, though, with their transaction and shorts and heavy short interest. I don't know if we're at 30% or any more close to it, but I've got to look. Oh, I am going to have, I'm probably going to sign up for it this weekend. There's a new tool I'm going to start using that will have some data that is real time that people just don't have access to, like real-time short interest. Some people get that like with a day lag, some people weeks, but there's not a lot of people that get it in real time. I'll have that along with just a bunch of other cool stuff. So it's a tool I'm testing out, and if I like it, I'm going to start sharing that data with the community too as well. But it should help a lot in regard to just our understanding of if shorts got liquidated in a given day for something. We'll be able to confirm things like that. And there's just so much other data. Anyway, as I get access to the tool and really discover what all of its possibilities are, I will uncover those things with you guys and show them to you. But for SoFi, I think they could outperform. I I do think they're sandbagging. I think they've been beat up really bad. I am going to pull up their financials real quick here, just because I want to show you. I want to compare this, right? I haven't done this in a while, so I want to compare this real quick. I want you to look at SoFi, and I want you to see how that compares, like what this chart looks like. A company that is down 75% from their all-time high at SPAC, 74 at least. Been really beat up and hasn't really went anywhere. Way lower than it was even in 2020 when they went live through like a reverse, SPAC. And then look at what they've done here. Let me move this over. Look at this. Like this, does this look like a bad company to you? It doesn't to me. And look at this, Q4 2023, net income, $48 million. Now let's look at the guidance that you were talking about. Now, could they be sandbagging? Yes, but it's still, if you look at Q4 and you just say that's an anomaly with a huge spike, they're not really sandbagging. They're still putting in growth. EPS is flat, but like it's not a horrible sandbag. But they haven't sold this company in a while, Q3 of 2022. So there's nobody really selling out. And if anything, they're buying back in Q1 of 2024. And then we're seeing institutional ownership increase. We've got short interest. It says in here is 23%. Now, again, with this other tool, I'll be able to see how much of that got liquidated. And here it says 17. I don't know which one's more timely and accurate. This other tool will be. So we'll figure that out. And I don't know if that's something that he'll be able to, Alejandro for Visual Stocks will be able to use too. But look at it. Look at this. Total loan originations. These guys are doing this with some of the highest credit score people out there, right? So these people have tons of assets. And then when you think about that $47 trillion number I gave earlier in this market recap, where I said that the majority, the top 2/3 of the country got $47 trillion richer since the pandemic. Did I pound the table enough? That is so much fucking money. And these guys are lending to those kind of people, right? The rich people. So I'm not as worried about this here. And again, the FICO scores, like they were really up high for a while. They started to ease, but they were like 781 for student loans and the mid 700s for home loans, which is a good number. And then they were lower for credit cards, but again, like 740 for the credit cards. These are not like the worst of credit scores. These are pretty safe zones. And I don't see any economic contagion that affects the top 2/3 of the country anytime soon. Why? Because the Fed has to print money. The ones you want to worry about are the bottom third, right? That's the cohort that's dangerous right now. It's the people that are paycheck to paycheck. They got some shitty, cheap ass fucking checks during the pandemic, bought cars that were 50% more in price than they were a year and a half earlier, and blew their fucking load buying trash they didn't need. And they became heavily indebted. They burnt through their savings. The checks fucking stopped coming. They don't own anything. And they're screwed. That's the cohort you got to worry about, the bottom 1/3. That is not SoFi. That is not SoFi. And again, the cash and stuff, our positioning is getting better. These guys just retired annual reoccurring debt like in the tens of millions of dollars that they don't have to worry about anymore, that they got favorable terms on. Will it dilute the shares in the way, way, way future? Yes. Who fucking cares? Oh, are they doing an offering? I didn't see it, but I mean, that's probably why their stock was down. That makes sense. So CleanSpark, Longshot Gaming just said, you already saw that CleanSpark had an $800 million share offering today. I did not. I've been doing a bunch of stuff. I missed it, but that doesn't surprise me at all. That explains why the stock was down so hard versus some of the others. And then that, and just like the short report with MicroStrategy, Bitcoin taking a breather and looking a little toppy. It's probably a bunch of stuff, but I don't care about that. They should be diluting. They're really good with managing their money and managing shareholder value. So I'm fine with them doing that. I think that's great. But back to SoFi. So again, member growth, very strong. Products, financial services really taking off. Lending, they haven't tried to grow the business a lot. And I think that that's been a very conservative, smart thing to do in case we did have a downfall in the economy. Galileo accounts see growth. These guys service a lot of other companies. Look down here. I love this one. It shows growth in banks, top banks. And so what you'll see here is they aren't doing very good. But look at this. This is percentage growth, right? In units, percentage growth. SoFi is way at the top for growth. Look at all the other banks, the top 10 banks. So like SoFi, this is a great chart because it shows SoFi is outpacing them significantly. So, and you'll see the home loan business for SoFi hasn't really been a thing at all. That could go exponential here. If rates start to drop, they could actually start seeing more home origination, which would be awesome. That's a great business for them to get into more of. We already did insider activity. Let me see. Estimates are good going forward and getting better. Let's see. Profit contribution by segment. Making most of their money off of financial services, it looks. Or wait, I'm sorry, lending. Even though they haven't been doing much, they're making a bunch of money off of lending. And then the rest comes from technology and financial services. Very interesting. Quarterly originations haven't really went anywhere, but you can see over here operating leverage. You can see how it's getting better. Revenue's going up, while net operating expenses aren't really going anywhere. And then again, total assets are going up. And I think they're doing a good job managing their debt. I think that these guys, 41% growth year over year on revenue is awesome. They're becoming profitable. I see no reason why they aren't going to continue that. That is in their guidance. And so I think SoFi is going to be great. And I think it's still a steal at these levels. I am being conservative. I've got a lot. I got over $200,000. Maybe it's less today in options in regard to these guys. So I got a lot of money in them. So let's see. What is it? 191,000 or 192,000. So I put 300,000 into these, mostly options. And I might have some on another portfolio too. So I'm already pretty invested in this. So I'm not doing a lot of buying, but I did pick up like $7,500 in stock in like last week plus. And I do think that, I think it's a good company. And I agree with data-driven investing too. Boy, I went off on that one for a long time. Paul Hoger, OP on HNST. I think I have that one already. Let me just pull it up. I think I've already looked at this. Honest company. Now, confirmation, is this not the Jessica Alba one? Is it not? Because I had a huge crush on her when I was younger. Huge crush. All right, let me see here. So we got a bunch of volume beneath us. It's a $388 million company. I think it didn't look good. It was like, yeah, flat revenue. Continues to be flat revenue. What is it year over year? Flat revenue for years, losing money. Starting to make money now. Still diluting shares. Operating expenses are going down. That's good. Cash flow is going up. Like all that. It looks like their brief net income positive stuff is starting to dip again. They're buying the stock. The owners believe in the stock. Institutions do not. Short interest has went down. Let's see, any other ratios? Again, expenses are going down, revenue's going up a little. I mean, that's good. Stock-based comp is only 2%. I don't know, man. The growth isn't great, but if they could start making money, this could be good. I just don't know if this is a sector that's going to do really good in the quarters ahead. I don't know like their product line well enough. Is it bougie? I think it's bougie, right? It's probably like really healthy stuff, organic. Probably use the word organic all the time. If it's bougie, they could still grow. We could still see incremental growth here, and maybe the valuation could go up. But it's already went up a decent amount. I don't know. It could go. This could do better if the fundamentals get better. I don't really see anything where if it was down here still, I'd probably be interested for an asymmetric bet. But it's already kind of creeping up, and you can see where they had really negative earnings, and then they started to get better the last 2 quarters. So I don't know if I'm interested in this one right now. If it trended down and grinded down towards like the 3s, maybe it's interesting, and yet the fundamentals improved. Maybe it would be interesting. Mr. Casper, Jesse, did you get a chance to check back on INMD? No, I didn't, but it is on the list. I'll make sure to notate it again, though. I gotta get to work. My goals for this weekend, on top of having 4 extra kids in my house and one of them being a baby, is to, like I said, do the stuff for the macro tomorrow, and then the Fed, and then the economic data, and then it's to go through the list of potentials for short opportunities and for longs to queue up something. I'm going to try and give these things at least 3 weeks apart, though, from when I recommend a stock. I might do it like once a month, just because it can get too convoluted, too confusing for myself, and I think for the community if I do too many at once. And so I'm going to try and go through the list and pick what I believe are the best ones through some detailed due diligence, at least, what I put into Matterport. I think it was probably, I think I did even better on Matterport than I did DLO. DLO was more of a technical trade. Matterport is definitely way deeper into the fundamentals, even though the fundamentals look good on DLO too. But yeah, so that's my thought. So I will get back to it. It's on my list. All right, David Parketney. Hello. Silas. MicroStrategy could have a short squeeze. I think it will. The question is, does it drop another like 10% next week or something before it does? Because it will start to coil. Tyler H. Could you look at TGT? Any chance this is better than cost or WMT? So we're getting into Target and all these others. Target really got effed because of the whole woke thing. There is truth behind go woke and go broke. It's a narrative, and it's got truth behind it, because when you alienate potentially 50% of your base through fucking politics, so stupid. If there's something that's you believe to be a political issue, and you're going to take a stand on it as a company and alienate the other side, I don't care what side you're on, it's fucking stupid. Fucking stupid. Unless you're Elon Musk and you don't give a fuck. You can do whatever you want to if you're Elon Musk. But again, his personal views, like, I don't care what the CEO of a company thinks. It's what their actions are. If Elon Musk all of a sudden started coming out with stuff that was like biased towards one political group in regard to their ability to be able to buy a car, I'd probably be like, what the fuck are you doing? Or if they like leans one way in the business, if he does a rainbow colored car, or if he does like whatever, just like making political stances with the business, that would be one thing. I don't care what he does in social media. See, especially when he owns the platform, he can say whatever the fuck he wants. But if you're going to do that as Target, then you could get some backlash. They've already run a lot, haven't they? They went from 102 from like the depths of the woke era to 177. That's a pretty good number. $81.8 billion company. Let's take a look at them. I might have to, I don't know if I'll look up all three of these right now, but I'll at least look at Target. Thoughts on this, Jesse? Give me 1 second. I will take a look here. What am I doing? Oh, did I not go to the right place? I did not. TGG. Oh. All right, so they're growing business, but only 2% year over year. So quarterly, it's been flat for years. Huh. They were doing stock buybacks. They stopped doing that after the whole woke broke thing. Net income's improving, 1.3 billion. That's a good number. Their PE isn't bad. Honestly, man, outside of the fact that you alienated probably like half of the people that would buy your stock, maybe more than half, because I think probably, I would guess conservatives, libertarians are probably more likely to buy stock than liberals. I could be wrong. I should actually look and see if there's data in regard to that. That'd be interesting. But I mean, Nancy Pelosi obviously buys stock, right? We know that much. But operating expenses, like, this stuff doesn't look too bad. Estimates are just kind of meandering. I think they need to get past the narrative, just like Robinhood having to get past the narrative. PayPal had to get past it, right? They made a few mistakes. They were talking about potentially finding people on social media with their accounts that PayPal held. They never did it, but just that getting out, woo, that hurt. And then there were the whole truckers that got their money taken away. They helped with that, facilitate that, whether they could or couldn't. They made political stances in the past, and they leaned towards one side. So they had to work past that narrative. So did Robinhood with GameStop, man. That whole Citadel thing, like, that was rough for them too. But you do get past narratives. If Target can remain non-political and just make money, then this stock is undervalued and it can go up. And they've got a dividend. And it's went up a decent amount already, though. And there's so many other good investment options. I don't care more about it right now. And I'm not too big into the Costco, Walmart thing right now. Those could do all right, like during an economic downturn, but I just don't care that much about them. All right, Sebastian, wait. CLSK down big in after hours. Oh, is that when they announced the $800 million offering? I don't know. Let's look here. What is big? Oh, 14%. Yeah, I mean, that's pretty big. Oh, but they're hitting support. Yeah, so they must, they probably announced that in after hours. That would be my guess. Let me see over here. CleanSpark may offer and sell shares of our common stock, having an aggregate offering of up to 800 million from time to time. Oh, it was just an announcement. Jesus, man, people get bearish quick. All right, so here's the good part. So it's hit support. It's hit it on the fib. It's hit it on this previous downward trend line that's turned into support. We've got peak volume over here. So yeah, it got butchered. It dropped down to this for another back test. I mean, it's arguable on whether or not we've actually back tested the fib. We back tested here and went off, right? So we got above the fib after multiple attempts, but we haven't really back tested it. This is probably a good time to do it. So people freaked out when they saw that offering, the fact that they could do that. I don't know why they would freak out. I mean, all these companies are doing this, but people will probably still freak out each time they do it. And this is a time to buy the dip. So I did not buy CleanSpark today. If by some miracle it is still down and it's already starting to climb, I think, yeah, it's already up like negative 10%. So if by some miracle it is down but at these levels on Monday, markets are open again on Monday, I will buy it. I will buy more. I've got so much CleanSpark. I've got like 500,000. I will buy more CleanSpark. But yeah, that's all that is. It's just people freaking out. I think just seeing that CleanSpark had dropped already today, and then the short report on MicroStrategy, and then Bitcoin maybe being toppy. I think they're getting jumpy on some of these miners that have done really well. And so, like, again, the best performers in the last 3 months, MicroStrategy and CleanSpark. So if there's anybody they're going to get scared of first, probably going to be those. And the other ones can't drop because they didn't go up. That's how stuff works. All right, so let me see here. Moving on. Gold up today too. Yep. There's some people getting scared. Gold is starting to climb too. Palantir we already talked about. Luke, amen. Jesse, thank you. Not sure for what. Liam, rant brother. All right, I definitely did a couple of those. Silas, Palantir seems like AI stock mostly likely to go up big. It will go up big. I mean, there's a lot of fundamentals behind it, and I think it actually could be a hedge against war. So I think there's a lot of benefits to it. But again, technicals could draw us lower. It could draw the whole market lower. Let's see what happens. See what tomorrow brings, guys. See, because that's what's going to turn into Monday. All right. I guess Tesla also promising AI stock massive. Oh, dude, it's the most promising AI stock, in my opinion. Thanks for discussing the dollar. Much appreciated. Sure. Yep, I'll get you a video tomorrow too, and we'll go into more of that. Kane Kozlowski. PayPal just announced new appointment to board of directors. Oh, that's interesting. I'll check that out later. See how interesting that person is. New board. Thank you for that. See, this is great. If you guys give me news on some of the stuff we're invested in, so I can do follow-up, it helps me out, so I appreciate it. Eric Sutterfield, been following you for a while, just subscribed, love the content. Hey, thank you for subscribing, man, appreciate you. Liam Dillon, Total 3, market, crypto, market sands, BTC and ETH. I know you're not a shitcoin guy. I own $400,000 in them, but I am not, you're right. Just curious how you interpret the chart, the Total 3. I don't know if I have Total 3 market cap. It's just total, right? I think it's just total. Let me see. I might have it from the way back, from last cycle or something. Oh, I do. From the way back. I think this is it. Is this it? Is it this one? Is it the total? Total? Is that the one we're talking about? Total 3. Total 3. Ah, there we go. All right. I got it. What do you want to know? What do you want to know? Yeah, I mean, it looks good. Shitcoins are still going up. Let me see. I can give you. I can draw some fibs here. I should probably keep this one anyway. I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna keep this one on standby. This is a good one. I know my friend Caleb looks at this one too. So we'll do the bottom of March 2020. Top over here. Bottom of the bear. So we're above the first fib. Looks like we back tested it once. We could do it again theoretically, but that was a pretty good wick. And now it looks like we're going higher. So maybe shitcoins start to get a little upside here. I wonder what BTC dominance looks like. Let's look at that real quick too. Huh, so interesting. So it looks like some lower shitcoins are leading us higher. Like the total 3 is leading us higher. But it also looks like Bitcoin wants to break out. This looks a lot like left shoulder, head, right shoulder, and then nothing but net up until we hit this is a multi-cycle downward trend line. So I wouldn't be surprised at all to see Bitcoin, if anything's going to take the reins here, whether it's altcoins falling down hard, which I don't know if I see that happening, or if it's Bitcoin just taking off. I think Bitcoin might take off first. And then some altcoins could do good. Like maybe we got meme stocks, but not all the rest. But it looks to me like BTC dominance wants to break higher. This is a massive volume shelf. And just look at the way it's printing up here. Very positive to me, just looking at that. That's cool. So thank you for talking about the Total 3. I'll start monitoring that more. And then, and I like the Bitcoin dominance chart. I'm glad I looked at that. I haven't looked at it in a while. Kane Kozlowski, BTM. Will you check this one out if you get time today, Mr. Jesse, our Lord and Savior? I'm definitely not that. It's those Bitcoin ATMS. I don't hold any. Just curious your opinion on how it'll perform. Seems not so good. BTM. Let me see what that is. Do I have that? What is BTM? You said it's those Bitcoin ATMS. Well, what is the acronym for ATMS? My brain is fried. Probably because I've been, wow, I've been doing this. It's a long stream, you know. All right, I'll do more though. And then I might call it here in a bit. So I think I'm getting hungry. I didn't realize the stream's this long, dude. All right. And then I think I got a couple of tips. I better double check those. Make sure I finish those up before I go. What is this? BTMS? What is BTMS? Or BTM? BTM. Where'd I get the S? BTM. Bitcoin Depot? Is that what this is? Oof, Jesus Christ. What is this? What is Bitcoin Depot? Can you tell me? What is this? It's not a company, right? It's a NASDAQ. What is this? What the heck is this? BTM. No. Bitcoin Depot. What is this even? I don't know what this is, bro. It doesn't look good. It doesn't look good. It's got a $110 million cap. Yeah, if you can tell me what it is and fill in some of the gaps so I have a better idea. They just did an AMA with Mario during your stream. Who did an AMA? Sorry. Did you see Fat Ocean Ajax merger announcement? Never been done before at scale. Should be well. Huh. Are these shit coins? Yeah, these are shit. I've never heard of that. Huh. Shit coins are merging. Fascinating. Yeah, let me know what else you have on that, Lucas. Just want to say thanks for your content. Started following back in January. You've been really helpful. Oh, cool, man. Bitcoin ATM. Sorry, are you saying at the moment? Or are you saying like, what are you saying, Lisa? Sorry. $7.5 billion market cap together. Huh. Yeah, it all depends on what they're merging for. I don't know. That's weird. It's thinking about shitcoins merging into something potentially better. Oh, it just all depends. All depends, man. Narrative might be interesting. At the very least, narrative might be interesting. Todd, bingo, joking. I don't know what that was for. Lol. We must have been talking about something. All right. Capitalism for the win. Yes, James, that is true. Whether you're a Republican, a Democrat, or whatever shade of politician, you should understand that capitalism is the greatest driving force for humanity in the last 100+ years. Easily. So there's bad things that can happen too, but why do you think China got rich? It wasn't from communism. Anyway. All right. Ja Kingdom Sounds. Him X. Pull it up. Is this a shitcoin or is this an actual business? Let's see. If it's a shitcoin, please let me know. If you got obscure altcoins you want me to look at, I can show you the TA on it. Much harder to judge things with them. And this one isn't a shitcoin. But if you did give me something like that, any of you guys, please try and do it with the indices or the exchange that was the oldest. Otherwise, I can't look them up. But that doesn't apply here, so let's move on. All right, so these guys have been around a while. I mean, this is a 2006 company, so a decent amount of time. Wow, just failure, massive success, failure, massive success. Are we in a failure run? Is that the part of the cycle? $943 million. What do these guys do? HIMX. Oh. And I might have to bail in a little bit just to eat. It's like 5 or something. I think I'm hungry. I got to do it before my daughter has taekwondo. All right, revenue's been dropping. Net income's plummeting. Shares outstanding are all over waffling. Larger cash position recently. Estimates are not getting a lot better. Institutional ownership is dropping. Short interest is dropping. Stock-based comp is not a lot. I just don't see anything interesting. It's semiconductor, but do they suck at semiconductors because they're not making any fucking money? Is Nvidia stealing their thunder, or like some other company? I don't know. I don't know what these guys produce, but it doesn't look successful. Jesse dropping wisdom, could not agree more. Don't remember what we were talking about, but yes, 100. Going to play this back in the gym to get me pumped. Sweet. Truth bombs all over the shop. I must have been ranting. All right, my sound was good though. Bro, perspectives on politics are so in line. Okay, cool. Sound good, Billy. Clear and loud. Lifelong independent for the same reasons. Okay. TFB. ETH is discounted at 24%. Oh, cool. Okay, that's probably why I think it popped today. Henry Padilla. Same here. Started rep, then tried DEM. I think I've done that maybe twice. I don't know. I've been all over the place. More like Elon Musk now, probably. Both suck, yes. Dustin Barnes, AVPT. All right, let me see. I am going to actually probably stop. I'm just going to look down this list real quick and see, is there anything else major I'm missing, guys? It looks like the $2 was for Clean Spark, and we just looked at that, and I told you that I think it's good, and the support is going to be good. Let me see here. Where was that one even? I'm so tired I can't even find shit. Can I just tab? That would be too easy. Left arrow. Why is the browser not that way? Why is it not that way? Down 10%. Again, we're so on support right now. We're right down to here. So I love Clean Spark heading into next week. I think I'm probably going to be buying some Monday if it stays down here. And I wouldn't even hesitate because this is a great drop zone. I doubt it's going much lower. It could, if Bitcoin gets effed, we could drop down to here. The problem is if we do drop to 1490, then we are probably going down to at least 1150, maybe down to 10 to fill that gap. So it all depends on Bitcoin. It all depends on the PCE. Tomorrow's going to be fun. I'm excited about it. I'll read what Lisa says here in a second too. I'm excited about tomorrow with the economic data. It's either going to be awesome or it's going to suck. I'm leaning towards awesome. And then we'll see what Jerome says. And I'll give you guys my macro presentation after that. And then I'll start, depending upon what happens with Jerome. If he spells doom and gloom, here, I'll refresh here. If he spells doom and gloom, then maybe I'll focus on getting a list of maybe one or two like hedge plays to save your portfolio from losses. And if it's good stuff, then I'll focus on finding maybe another company. I don't know if I'll produce anything over the weekend because, again, I want to spread these out unless it's like imminent and something we should get involved in. I want to spread them out so that people aren't getting confused and seeing a bunch of new stuff and thinking they should apply money to it and moving it all over. I don't want that. I want structure. I want clarity. But that's the plan for this weekend. And then wish me luck. I got to watch a little tiny baby, and I haven't done that in nine years. So this should be fun. But love you guys, and I'll see you tomorrow if you guys show up to the stream. And hopefully I didn't disappoint too many people. I might do if there's demand for it, throw in the comments that you want to have another session to go over some stocks. I feel like we got most of them, so I feel like we're good for the weekend. But otherwise, you guys take it easy, and if I don't see you, we'll see you Monday. Have a good day. Have a great weekend. Enjoy your holiday. Bye. Oh, real quick before I leave. Lisa, the tokens from these prospective organizations will merge to form one universal AI token known as the Artificial Superintelligence Token, ASI. Will be interesting to follow. So, interesting narrative. Website says, thousands of locations, we are the largest Bitcoin ATM network in North America, can buy or sell Bitcoin with cash, credit, and debit. Okay. Well, I mean, that's been a thing for a while. Clean Spark down, big after hours, enjoy your weekend. Yeah, okay. So that's interesting. So that's an interesting narrative. Thank you guys. You take it easy. Bye.